Hey there, guys. So, what I want to start doing now is doing specific showcases over Pokemon I feel are really well positioned in the current post-Platinum meta to show how the meta has developed and how to best counter it and use some really common Pokemon. So, Garchomp is, as anyone who plays PvP has seen, everywhere. And there's lots of super powerful sets to run into. When I originally built him, if you watched my videos on when I was breeding a team, I really wanted to use a Choice Scarf Garchomp. It worked, I liked it, but this set right here, I think, is not wholly superior, but for the way my team is built, works out incredibly, as it gives me a fantastic answer to stall, as well as just a great way to sweep offensive teams after a couple boosts. We're talking about the Sub Swords Dance Salakberry Garchomp. So what you want to do for this is you want to have your HP divisible by 4. What that does is it allows you to trigger your Salakberry at 3 substitutes, as opposed to having to get super low. It's just something that's nice, giving you a little extra HP. Dragon Claw Swords Dance or Dragon Claw Earthquake are the offensive moves that you need. So you don't have a great way to deal with steals. That's why this pairs very well with Specs Magnezone, just to get in there and get rid of those pesky steel types. Swords Dance makes up for Garchomp's actually, lower than you'd prefer attack, and Substitute lets you trigger your Salakberry. One thing that's great is this is a fantastic bait set with Shed Shell Skarmory. Goodness. So if you have Skarmory and your opponent has Magnezone, you can set up your layer of spikes with Skarmory just to further make Garchomp even more powerful at sweeping the opposing team. They bring in their Magnezone, you switch to your Garchomp using Shed Shell. That gives you a great chance to set up Substitute and sweep their team from there. I'm going to show some gameplay in just a sec of how I've used this guy. It's absolutely incredible, and I recommend people building a Garchomp. So Jolly is necessary because the base 1 and 2 speed lets you outspeed all sorts of Pokemon. After your Salic boost, you're faster than every non-Scarf Pokemon. To the best of my knowledge, maybe Ninjask is faster, but that doesn't matter at all. You're even faster than Electrode and whatnot. So yeah, absolutely incredible. This counters Jolteon, which is everywhere. As opposed to the Scarf variant, you can't bring it in on Jolteon, which does suck a little bit, but with some setup, like it requires more setup, but the reward is much higher than Scarf. All right, so with that, I'm just going to go ahead and get in some replays, and I'm going to be just doing voiceovers of the replays to explain what's going on and how Garchomp is best used there. Cool, we'll get into those now. Right, so for this battle, what I've done is if I take a look at his team, the Pokemon that I'm not able to sweep with Metagross or Garchomp would be the Volcarona and the Milotic. He was graciously nice enough to give me both of those, at which point, all I need to do is get a boost off on either of them and I can sweep his team. He's shown me for a fact that that Crocodile is not Scarf, which doesn't really matter as Agility Gross or a boosted Garchomp are faster. So what I decided to do here is just to soften him up for Agility Metagross. So I'm thinking right here, I'm just going to go for Substitute. Nothing Gengar's attacks, his best attack does like 50-ish% to me. So I take that, I substitute, I'm in range. If he hits me with a Will-O-Wisp here, which is what I was really afraid of, then that's fine. I just hit him with a nice little Dragon Claw there, which gets him pretty low. The reason that's important is if I can get even the smallest amount of chip off on Gengar, Starmie just sweeps the rest of his team. So with the 3 layers of spikes he let me get up, Starmie will just kill Crocodile with how little health it has. It'll kill Garchomp, it'll kill Gengar, and it will kill his Venusaur because it can no longer switch into Starmie. Absolutely fantastic. The last Pokemon on his team also couldn't handle it, and Agility Metagross gave me pretty easy setup there too. So I was willing to risk the Will-O-Wisp because either he doesn't have it and I win the game right here by clicking Substitute into Swords Dance, because Garchomp does need that Swords Dance to be able to one-shot the Gengar here. Garchomp isn't that naturally strong physically. So either he lets me get that setup and I win with Garchomp, or I'm able to chip Gengar enough to win the game with Metagross plus Starmie, which is also totally fine. However, the way he did it lets me get the setup on Garchomp, and it's absolutely game over. A Substitute Swords Dance, once you get that Salakberry, it's just a Dragon Dance with another +1 attack on top. Makes Garchomp incredibly threatening. Yep, and at this point, it's just lights out for him. He knows it too, and here's where we get the surrender. Bada boom. Alright, so for this next Garchomp showcase, what I've done here is a similar method. I've taken down the Fortress and the Crocodile. Those are 2 Pokemon that Garchomp can't just one-shot. And the idea here really was not to sweep with Garchomp. On this team, I've been abusing, finally, I had a chance to abuse my Shed Shell Skarmory. Oof, always messes me up trying to say that. So here, He has hidden power fire. I figured that he would probably try to switch or try to use an electric type move or something like that. He hadn't flash cannoned on the switch in the past, so I honestly thought he might not have it. And right here, I look at his team, and I'm saying, okay, I'm just going to Swords Dance. There's no use trying to substitute right here. Yeah. So he brings out Crobat as I Swords Dance. So while this works, and I live the Brave Bird and sweep his team, the correct play there was to substitute. So what I should have done is I substitute there as he goes to Crobat, then I substitute again as Brave Bird breaks my sub, at which point I'm knocked into my Salac Berry range. So then, because I'm now faster than him and behind a substitute, I Swords Dance, he breaks the sub, I come out of the sub with my +2 attack, and what that does is it doesn't risk the crit. So right there, I knew he wouldn't kill me with Brave Bird, so I was willing to make that play that I did, and it works out. But the correct play would have been to use the substitutes there to make sure that there's no chance of him critting me and killing Garchomp. I still won at that point. Don't get me wrong. I have my full team alive, and his team is everything that's left is super weak to Starmie. But the Garchomp sweep still comes in. So technically, I don't kill his entire team because that right there happens. I get Garchomp's Earthquake disabled. Oh no. Which is sad. He brings in Magneton. I thought he might try to get cheeky and go for an electric type attack here, so I'm like, maybe I can actually use Dragon Claw to sweep the rest of his team. At this point, it doesn't matter. I just get Magneton low, and it's a Life Orb Vaporeon in the back. Interesting idea, but means there's no chance of it walling my team, although no matter what set it was, there really was no chance of that, as I'll just Toxic it with my own Vaporeon, and that will be the game. So right here, I almost killed him with Dragon Claw, and he does reveal Flash Cannon. If he'd used that earlier, I would have been in Brave Bird range. I mean, I would have played differently if I was in Brave Bird range, but yeah, that's about it for that. All right, so this last battle I sped up because it's short, sweet, and absolutely beautiful what happens with Garchomp. Keep in mind, this was meant to be a Metagross Spotlight video. I was intending to do a video covering Metagross, how I think it works really well in the meta. That video is still coming out, but in all three of the battles that I tried immediately after I started the team, Garchomp just absolutely dismantled people. So here, I bring out Garchomp, I'm looking at his team. Garchomp doesn't have a good chance to sweep, but I'm thinking he's going to go for U-turn here, so I decide to substitute after the U-turn just to threaten something. Let me know if you guys like the sped up videos. I think that it makes it, if I'm doing a voiceover, a bit better. That way, you don't have to sit there watching as I agonize over my decisions for as long. So I substitute, he goes to Sigilyph. Offensive Sigilyph does about 50% to me, so even after substitute, I live it. So I decided to go for a Swords Dance here, and what happens next is just the most bizarre turn of events. He goes for Cosmic Power, which is weird. It's a race he will never win. I'm getting +2, he's getting +1. But okay, I look at it and I think, I guess I'll go for another Swords Dance, right? Because if he breaks my sub, I'm at +4 and I probably kill him. But no, he goes for Cosmic Power again. And at this point, I'm thinking if he's offensive, I kill him. He's probably defensive. So I should have gone for +6, but at this point, I'm just so perplexed. I'm like, there's no way you let me get away with another Swords Dance, right? So I go for Dragon Claw, and he does. He Cosmic Powers a third time, which, game over. Now I'm behind a sub, +4 Garchomp, I kill him, and nothing on his team handles it. So there is one thing I have to be aware of. Darmanitan will break my sub with U-turn. So this is the play that I have to get right. You just have to substitute here. So bada boom. He knocks me down. He brings in the Pokemon he thinks would handle me, but substitute, nice and safe again. At this point, I'm +4, and this Milotic, thankfully, is not Burn Orb, so it doesn't get the bonus physical defense. Garchomp easily shreds it. Once again, same situation. I'm going to click my sub as he goes out into, I believe it's Ferrothorn. Yeah. So here's where I wish I'd gone for +6, is I get my Salac Berry trigger there. I Earthquake, but he actually lives. This thing is like full physical investment, and even then I think it might have been a roll. But, whatever. That's what the substitute's for. And at this point, I no longer need sub because my berry is triggered, so I'm faster than his Jolteon and his Darmanitan. It was meant to be a Metagross video, and I led Garchomp and just straight up 6-0'd his team. It was so much fun. This is the true power of Swords Dance, substitute Salac Berry, Garchomp. It's incredible. I recommend you guys all try it.